Hello everyone. Previously we had discussed about the arrow functions and this keyword. Today we'll be discussing about the proxy API and the reflect API. So what is proxy API basically? So the proxy API allows us to define the custom behavior for operations like getting, setting or deleting properties on objects. So if you are familiar with the objects in the JavaScript, the core concepts of objects in the JavaScript, you will be knowing about getting, setting, as well as the deleting properties on objects, right? So what does proxy API does here? It allows defining the custom behaviors. So it allows defining the custom behavior for the operations like getting, setting, and delete operation. Deleting properties on object. So that's what the proxy API will be doing. So then what is the main advantage of using the reflect API? We came to know about the proxy API now. So what does reflect API do? The reflect API basically provides built-in methods, right? So it provides built-in methods to perform default operations used within the proxies. So there are certain default operations that are used within the proxies, right? So for that, uh, to perform this one default operations within the proxies, basically the reflect API provides the built-in methods. So I hope this proxy API and the reflect API is clear, the basic definition of it, and a bit of you have got the idea, I hope, on the proxy and reflect API. So let's see the same thing with the simple example. First we will go with the basic proxy, then let's see proxy with the reflect API or the reflect, right? So let's first understand the basic proxy API. So initially what I'll do, I'll just consider const handler. This will be the object name. So let me make use of get here. I'll just give target. Let me pass the prop along with the target. Here I'll just give if prop in target. So I'll just make use of the ternary operator here. If prop and target, then let's give within the array, we will be displaying the prop, and if not, I'll just give not found, right? So I hope this is clear. This is simple, right? So after this, let me assign object this one. I'll just consider obj. So let me give a to 1. Let me assign a to numerical numerical value 1 and b to numerical value 2. So let me close this one here. So I'll just consider now, let's create the proxy now. I'll just give new proxy of 2 parameters. One is object that I have considered just above this line obj, and the handler function, handler object, right? So sorry, yeah, this is fine. Now if I log proxy this one a, proxy dot a and proxy dot this one c or b I have given here. So yeah, let me for not found also we have to consider one thing, right? One example. So I'll just log here console dot log of, let me give not this proxy, basically proxy dot a. So we have to get the output 1, right? So we have assigned the value 1 here to this object. So here if I log now proxy dot c, this has to give us not found, right? So we have given if it is not found, then we have to get not found. If it is found, then we have to get the output 1. So a, we are having the value 1, so we have to get the output 1 here. For this we have to get output 1, and for this we have to get output I have given not found, right? So the output has to be 1 and not found. Let's try running this code. So here you can clearly see 1 and not found. So I hope the proxy API is the concept of proxy API is clear. Basically, again I'm telling why we'll be making use of the proxy API. Basically, it allows defining the custom behavior for the operations like get, set or getting, setting or deleting properties on object. Here I have considered get, right? You can try with the setting or deleting properties on objects as well. For example, I have just considered here get, right? So I'll just delete this one. I hope proxy API is clear. Basic proxy example is clear. Now let's consider one more example, nothing but the proxy with the reflect API. So as I have said earlier, reflect API basically it provides the built-in methods to perform default operations used within the proxies. So let's try understanding this one with the example, nothing but proxy with the reflect API. So I'll just give the same thing. Let me give const handler equals here. Previously we had made use of the get. This time we'll be making use of set, right? So I just give here the parameters target. Let's give prop as well as value. So I hope this is fine. I'll just log here. What shall I log? Let's consider prop and value. So I'll just be making use of the template literals here. Simple one. As I have made use of the set, I'll just give here setting. Within this one, let me pass the prop as well as I'll just consider to prop to value, some value, right? Again, I'll just be considering value within the flower basis here, right? So this is fine. Next, let me return. What shall I return? This one has to be, we have considered the set, right? So we are making use of the reflect API. So I'll just give here reflect dot, I have made use of the set. So I'll be making use of set here. What are the parameters that we have considered here? Same thing here, right? So I'll just copy the same thing over here. This one, let me give here reflect dot set of target, prop and value. So this is fine. Next, what I'll do, I'll just call the empty object. So here, let me call the empty object and let's make use of the proxy here. I'll just give new proxy of this one, object and previously, if you remember, object and handler, right? So here, this one will be the handler and object will be this one, empty. We have assigned this one to the empty object, right? So this one. Next, what we will do, we will proxy, let's consider name. So let me give here proxy.name and we will assign this one to the something like Bharadwaj within the strings. So this has to log basically setting name to Bharadwaj. Here we have given setting prop to value, right? This one setting prop will be name. We have considered name here, right? The prop will be name and the value will be Bharadwaj. So we have to get the output. In this case, proxy.name I have given this one Bharadwaj, right? Setting name to Bharadwaj, this has to say. Finally, what I'll do, I'll just log this one proxy.name. So this one. So what output we need to get? First thing is setting name to Bharadwaj and we have just logged here proxy.name. We have to get the output just Bharadwaj, right? One thing is first output that we need to get is setting name to Bharadwaj and the second one, when I log this one, here we need to get just Bharadwaj. Let's see. Let's try running the code. And yeah, here you can clearly see we are getting the output setting name to Bharadwaj as well as we have logged the proxy.name. So we are just getting the Bharadwaj here. So now we know why we are making use of the reflect API along with the proxy. Also, we had seen the basic usage of the proxy API, the previous example, right? So I hope the proxy API and the reflect API concept is completely clear. So next, what we will do, we will discuss about the type arrays as well as the array buffer, right? For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.